Okay, it looks like everybody can hear us. Audio is good, visual is good. So I'd like to definitely encourage everybody throughout the webinar to ask questions. We love this to be interactive, and we love to share with you what we know, and we love to hear what you know. So please type in the questions tool and let us know if you have any questions at any time during the webinar, and we will answer them for you. So what are we going to talk about in this webinar? First, we're going to do an industry overview, and we're going to look at the opportunity in selling cloud backup. So what does this opportunity mean for you specifically, those of you in the United States and Canada, which is probably most of you on the line today? What is in the SOS 360-degree partner program? So how does that help you? How does it enable you to sell online backup better, faster, and get a higher margin? What is in the SOS ServerSave product suite? We'll do a demo of that at the end of the webinar, as well as go through the features here in the meat of the webinar. We'll look at our data centers and infrastructure, and we'll look on how to start your online backup business, review pricing, and like I said, do a product tour. And yes, at the end of this webinar, you actually will get the recording emailed to you. You will also get a copy of the presentation if you ask your partner specialist. They can provide that to you. So what's going on in the online backup industry? A lot. We are in the early majority, early adopter phase of the innovation adoption lifecycle. A lot of people know what online backup is. Not everybody knows what they're going to do with it. So it is up to you and me and everybody in this room to talk to people about what they're going to do with it and why they need it. You're going to see in the next few slides that SMBs and enterprises are particularly interested in adopting online backup, largely for its business continuity and disaster recovery capabilities and ease of use. So currently, SOS has over 500,000 active customers and over 500 value-added reseller partners. We're continuously developing our software. We're doing regular releases. We are doing everything that we can to keep making this a viable and important product and a very competitive product within the online backup space. And as an SOS partner, you would, of course, benefit from that. So what is propelling online backup adoption? This is a really interesting and good question, and you guys probably see examples of this on a daily basis. Number one is expansion of internet bandwidth. It's easier to put things in the cloud now than it ever has been. It's also easier to bring them back down. We have seen a decrease in hosted storage costs in the last few years. This is also super important. We can put more things up in the cloud. We can put more data on servers because it's less expensive to do so. Also, like I mentioned, I think a few minutes ago, the technical sophistication of the population has improved. Most people that you talk to on a daily basis, and me and everybody else, know kind of what the cloud is. They know that it's this thing somewhere that they can put their data, they can put their digital data there. What they may not know is that there are varying levels of security of this quote-unquote cloud. And we're going to talk a bit about that and why it's really important, especially to your business customers. Businesses and consumers are also increasing the size and value of their digital data on a regular basis. They are creating photos, videos. We're in fact recording this webinar right now, so we're creating about an hour of digital data that's really important to us and important to you. It's important to keep it safe in the cloud for recovery later on and also reference. And for many customers of yours, such as finance companies, they may need to keep data for up to 7 years. So this is a very, very important feature. There's a great statistic in the bottom right-hand corner of this slide, and that comes from the IDC. The IDC confirms that a massive adoption by the business community is near term. Right now, 16% of companies surveyed by the IDC are currently using online backup. That's not very many. But 69% are evaluating or planning to use it. That is a lot. That is a huge market opportunity, particularly for you guys, because like we're going to look at right now, these businesses want to get it from you. Another really important point is that tape backup is becoming not necessarily just passé, but its functionality has been far surpassed by online backup, and online backup is also less expensive and more reliable. So what are SMBs looking for in online backup? Number one, which is most important to you, is that they want to get it from a managed service provider. They want to get it from someone who is near them. They want to get it from someone who understands their locale, their business, and who can take the time to understand their risks and their needs. These businesses want total data protection. They want protection from workstations, servers, laptops, and mobile devices. Employees are using all of these devices regularly and creating data on them, and that data needs to be backed up. It's very important to small to medium-sized businesses to be able to do this in one software suite in one location. It eliminates areas for potential problems, and by doing it with one service provider, such as yourself, it creates a relationship. I'd like to pause here and see if there were any questions about what we just reviewed. We are going to get into the features of the SOS 360-degree Partner Program and talk a bit about how you can start your online backup business. If there are no questions, I'll go ahead and keep moving on. I do want to mention that in order to be entered in the drawing for the Kindle, you do need to ask a question, so please ask away. The SOS 360-degree Partner Program includes a number of features and benefits that we actually like to call a business in a box. For MSPs, this is really, really important to you. You don't want to go trudging around the globe, trudging around the country to try to find all the different applications and pieces of software that you need in order to sell online backup to SMBs. You want to get it in one place. Not just the software, but also the mechanism for doing so. Derek, do you want to talk a little bit about these pieces that you provide in the SOS 360-degree Partner Program?
Absolutely. The SOS Partner Program has been a main part of our business since about really the inception of SOS. We started off with a relatively humble beginnings. Then 2005, 2006, with our launch to the international and primarily the U.S. market, we started getting in really deep with large partnership programs, lots of customization, lots of development work behind it. And for the majority of our market, we had a light affiliate program. We moved into what we have now today, which is the rebranded wholesale program, out of many iterations of this. Our attention to the partner program is really brought to the forefront with our development of what we have listed here as our web integration package. The web integration package is exactly what Sheilin described as the means towards launching into the market. Adding a service is, of course, something that's very simple. You sign up with a program, and all of a sudden you have the ability to sell the service. But in selling a new service, you have to make sure that your team is trained. You have to make sure you have workflows for people to buy the service from you, to submit support tickets for the service. How are all these business operations and business processes handled on your own? We found that a lot of our partners were simply too busy to really spend a lot of time on this, and hence their time to market was pretty slow. So this, combined with seeing our partners take our APIs, which a lot of software companies have, and go through the development process of that, we found that really there are some things that we can do to help people out get to the market. So things like our web integration package, combining 6 different modules into one simple package. Rather than you having to figure out all these processes and workflows from your users to your staff, we've already built it in for you. So if you don't have these things in place, then they're in place for you within a couple of days of order. So we have first integration into merchant gateways, such as Authorize.net, PayPal, eWay, and soon to be Paygate for our South African customers. This means that rather than having to go through a integration procedure with hiring outside web development resources or using in-house web development resources, you just plug in your merchant gateway credentials and you're good to go. Other modules include a basic support ticketing system. So how do you receive feedback from your customers if they're having issues? Well, we've built in a basic support ticketing system for you as well. On top of that, we have the content management system. So there's the web presence portion of this. Where can you point people if they want more information about the service? Or if you have some local marketing, regional marketing, or even web marketing, what avenues do you have to take advantage of that? Well, we have the content management system, a new CSS editor, so you can change the design of the website. You can set SEO settings, keywords, description, title, per page, as well as for the site overall. There's a Google Analytics plugin that you can have, and this is all included at no additional cost with our program. On top of that is a way to contact your customers, how you get to reach out for a campaign of, hey, we have a new service that you should probably be interested in. We have a really nice HTML mass email program that allows for campaign emails and resulting stats as far as click-through rate, unsubscribed rate. And then we also have a subscription mailer built in the same program. So for your existing customers, how do you continue to reach out to them to let them know about program updates, specials, and just that general touch that you have with your customers over time to make sure that you are top of mind.
And there's also a really cool complementary feature that where you can create coupon codes. So you can create coupon codes and use them in your email campaigns. You can put them on other pages of your website to allow customers to purchase at a discount, hopefully incite some more sales.
Definitely a good point. So all of this that we've done is really above and beyond what you'll see in any other program, and it's the attention to our partner program that really separates us from the crowd at a program's part, let alone going into the service details, which we'll get into later. On top of the tools that we give you, which is the web integration package, we also give you access to people that can help you develop strategic plans for implementation strategies from a technical standpoint. So we run a tech and admin training every Wednesday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific, and also occasionally on Tuesday evenings from 2 to 4 p.m. Pacific, so evening depending on where you are in the world. And this allows you to get your tech staff fully trained and up and ready with whatever questions they want. I'll run that training myself. We also have some of our head support staff on that meeting. We also have business development managers, so we have people who can help you sell it. So we're working on a new series of webinars where it's Web Marketing 101, how to use the tools we've given you to do some basic web marketing, and what are some basic web marketing practices and best practices out there, which Sheilin will work on with some of her staff. We'll also have email marketing 101s, pricing, moving into a managed service package offering, which many of our partners are doing. And on that, that's a good segue to ask, how many of you today would say that currently a majority of your customers are on a managed service plan? Or is this move or this exploration into our backup program a first step into managed services? So if each of you can kind of put in a little summary of, hourly only versus recurring revenue contracts you have out with your customers, and then also what you're looking for out of this program, we can certainly tailor the rest of the webinar discussion and how you are successful in this program to your profile.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a number of questions which we'll grab after the next slide here. This slide is a summary of all of our post-sale as well as basic features that are available within the SOS 360-degree partner program. We do have data centers in the UK, US, Canada, Australia, and soon to be South Africa. So for you guys, you probably mostly care about the US and Canadian data centers, which are located in Houston, Dallas, Los Angeles, and Toronto. We do offer business development assistance post-sale. So like Derek was just mentioning, these webinar series that will help us with marketing and email marketing, as well as landing page design best practices. That's part of our business development assistance program. So we aren't just here to sell you gigs on a wholesale basis. We're here to help you sell those gigs as well. So it's definitely a robust support program that you have after the fact. We also have a partner concierge service, which is included in the program, and that is our really 12-hour-a-day now, we've added a number of shifts, partner support program that helps you with technical and administrative questions. There's no hardware required in this program, which is a huge benefit to those of you that are looking to get up and running with minimal investment. And it offers Exchange backup, SQL backup, and Windows backup.
And full bare metal backup for your volumes.
Yes, absolutely. So I just talked a bit about post-launch support, but I really want to bring it home and talk more about how important this is. Since you've just made an investment in purchasing some gigs, and we'll go over pricing a bit later, but it's incredibly important to us that you're successful. So our business development post-sale program will help you use the Partner Resource Center, will help you create and use our existing email templates, sales presentations, and disaster recovery templates. All of these things, Mike Zerudny, our business development manager, will assist you with. Now let's pause for some questions here. We have a great question from Bruce. Will you be demonstrating how we can edit and update the website pages that you provide? Yes, absolutely. Derek will do that in the demo portion of the presentation. Tony asks, I'm a new partner with SOS. Thank you. Congratulations, Tony, who moved over from Mozy Pro. One feature that they offer is automatic agent updates. Is SOS going to move to that at some point? Derek, can you answer that question?
Well, we do have some plans for affiliate programs for kind of a multi-level marketing option, but those are still very much in their early stages. So we do have partners who have partners themselves, and it's something that we take on a case-by-case basis at this point. So if you are interested in some of those options or want to be part of the discussion, I would recommend getting a hold of your partner specialist, and I would actually like to talk to you myself to see a little bit about your model.
And Bruce has another great question. The rebranded website makes all kinds of claims about ratings from PCMag, etc. But if client searches for PCMag ratings for your brand, Bruce's brand, they will not see him listed. Bruce is concerned that this could break customer confidence. How can this be better worded on the site? So my recommendation is to word it such that the platform for your software, the code for your software, is an award winner, because that's really what it is. We receive that award based on our code structure, the functionality of the program, as well as the security of the program. And effectively, your brand is built upon that. So hopefully that's helpful. Richard asks, what do you mean by managed services? Great question. So there's a difference between simply providing online backup as a commodity and providing it as a managed service. So you may consider yourself an IT consultant. You may consider yourself a value-added reseller. But at the end of the day, you have customers on which you'd probably be installing an online backup client, or they'd be buying it from you from your website integration package. But for your businesses, your business clients, you would probably be installing it for them. And you're not going to just go in there, install it, and then leave. They're probably going to ask you for some other services and advice as well. And this is your opportunity to start charging for your work on an hourly basis and not just the commodity that you're selling them.
Yeah, I'd actually like to touch on that a little more. Can we go back to the first slide where it showed the adoption graph?
Sure.
So that's a great question as far as what do you mean by managed services? So the market's currently going under a huge, I would call it maturity. The maturity of the IT service market is that IT service providers are now aligning their goals with that of their customers. So the growth we're seeing in the SMB adoption of cloud-based services and small business adoption of outsourced IT services is this new managed service concept. And what's beautiful about it is that you both make money at the same time. What do I mean by making money at the same time? That's what the whole goal is anyways. But with a break-fix relationship where something breaks, the customer calls you, and then you come in and fix it, and then you are making money only on hours booked, that's a negative relationship. So if you were to graph out the money that you make versus the money that they spend/lose from downtime, it's negative. Every time they're losing money or spending money, then you're making money, and that's not good. That's kind of the mechanic relationship you have. You know, I don't really understand how the engine works, but I know when it breaks, I have to go to the mechanic, and I have to trust him that he's truly fixing the issue and not just fixing a symptom. So with managed services, you're becoming an asset to the business. You're not a cost center, which is what IT service providers have always been considered, and it's just by nature of that negative relationship. So with proactive services, with remote monitoring and management systems in place, you can become an asset to the business by stopping issues from happening. The prevention is a 101 part of project management. It's always cheaper and more effective. Moving people into that is somewhat of a philosophical change. It's a big mindset for a lot of people. Well, why should I pay this cost center on a regular basis if I can just pay them when something's broken? And that's really a discussion that we have for our partners once they come on board is how do you move them into a managed service plan? How do you bring authority to what you want to do and what you know is best? So the benefits are, again, you're aligning your goals with your customer and you're becoming a business asset, not a cost center. So it's no longer are you the, the assumed problem with the whole system. Like, like they give you that kind of weary eye every time you come in the office. Also, what you're doing is you are making yourself have a much greater separation between what you spend versus what you make on a regular basis. That sneaker time is very expensive. If every time you're making money, you also are spending a lot of hours working, then your margin's very low. So now you're looking at increasing your margin from maybe 1 penny on the dollar to maybe 20, 30 cents on the dollar. So you're really changing your business and making that work smart, not hard mentality through and through.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Derek. We've got a few more questions. Clayton asks, we do manage for SMB and want to roll this into our offerings. Awesome. That's great. Where are all your U.S. data centers again? We will see a slide on this in a little bit, but let me just summarize quickly. They are in Houston, Dallas, Los Angeles, and in Canada, we have one in Toronto. So hopefully that helps. Tony asks, all of my customers are using this backup feature. My main goal with SOS is the possibility of new user signups via the website. You will see a demonstration of that through Derek, and actually Derek is your go-to guy for that solution anyway. So it's good that you're getting to meet him if you haven't already. Robert asks, about half of our clients are on managed service contracts, some including cloud backup. Started with network monitoring and management. That's awesome. You are a role model. Dwayne says, is the website template WYSIWYG? Yes, it is, Dwayne. Robert says, can you address cost versus selling price, your competitive price on the web? Really, I'd like to reference the speech that Derek just made about being a managed service provider. That's truly the answer. You are a managed service provider and you have the freedom and flexibility to do so and be a true asset to your customers. Our web pricing, our e-commerce transactions really are not that. It's a simple sale.
And if we look at our next slide here, this quote below, again from the IDC, they're looking at this growth from a hard cost of service, which is really what you're asking here. So the hard cost of service is one thing, but the big part of the market that no one can really put a figure to, because we just don't know because it's so new, is the managed service aspect of cloud-based services. So moving into managed service market, because the prices are generally unknown and it's still very much an experimental phase, you'll see what threshold customers have based on their size, their industry, their previous relationships is really the best way to gauge that, is we don't really know what the price will be. So the most successful partners that we see today roll in backup as far as how much data they need, how many server licenses they need, into an overall service bundle. So it's when you start itemizing per service that you start almost an argument with your customers who aren't as savvy and they don't have the expertise on things that really they shouldn't be participating in. It's really, as our goal of IT service providers is, look, I'm going to make things work for you and work for you more efficiently than they were before and continue to work with as little downtime as possible. That's your mission statement. In order to do that, you need to step out of my way and let me do things. And so when you start operating with that mentality, you'll see that your relationship with your customers improves because you're providing a better service, and there's no I told you so moments. Everyone here probably has had an I told you so moment with their customer, and it doesn't matter because the customer maybe becomes a pride thing at that point, you still lose them. But as Sheilin said, the managed service aspect of this service is the critical part of how you price things out. And again, myself, Mike Zarudny, and Sheilin have a webinar series and documents to go through of pricing strategies specifically towards that.
Yeah, absolutely. David has a great question. Really the question I think is about PMU. David says, I joined 2 days ago with ServerSave 5. Congratulations, David. We're glad to have you. If I have a customer with a large amount of data, for example, 400 gigabytes, this could take a long time to upload and saturate the customer's internet connection during the upload process. Is it possible to speed the backup by making an initial backup on, for example, an external hard drive, and then send that to the data center to overcome the initial upload?
So in Word, there is a way to expedite the initial backup. As far as what you would assume, as far as sending data directly to the data center, that's not how it works out. Our security measures in place don't allow such access to the data center. So we do have ways that you could either send drives to us, and we could expedite that procedure for you, or we show you how you can do it as well. Really, it's a matter of switching out the environment. So there's local resources and there's web resources as far as your bandwidth, and if you have the availability of dedicated faster machines and higher and faster bandwidth, then you can expedite this yourself. And that's something that's in our knowledge base. If you search PMU for physical media upload, there's a full article on that. And coincidentally, we are launching a program with our partners now where we're going to be seeing a survey soon of partners who are willing to do this for other SOS customers. So actually, we'll refer PMU business towards you. Good question.
Cool. Thanks for all the questions, guys. Let's move into the product suite, which I'm sure everyone has a lot of questions about. So we have a file and folder component, effectively, with the program. We also have a server backup component. Everything is backed up to the cloud. That's our core business, our core functionality, and really what we're good at. We have more data centers than almost any of our competitors, and we're very good at getting data there quickly. We encrypt data on the fly in order to put it in the cloud faster for you, and hopefully not bog down your customers' internet connections too much. So what's the difference between the green side on the right and the blue side on the left? And that is the difference between ServerSave and file and folder backup. On the right-hand side of the diagram, we show that we back up your system data. This is your operating system, and this is your bare metal backup for entire machines. We also back up your application data. This is SQL Server backup, Exchange backup, and SharePoint backup for your customers. All bare metal, all sent to the cloud. In Exchange, by the way, is Exchange backup and granular recovery, which you'll see, and that's an extremely cool feature, particularly to those of you who may have legal or finance clients who need to recover emails on a regular basis. And of course, our bread and butter, backing up file data, documents, images, and emails. We do offer unlimited archiving and unlimited versioning, which is hugely important to your SMB customers. Derek, do you want to talk about the left-hand side?
And going through backing up your desk life, this is really the bread and butter of SOS's program since its inception. We provide a very easy and simple way to back up from the user level. In any system, the user is going to be the biggest point of exposure to security issues, whether it's lost data or lost passwords, lost machines, damaged machines, whatever it is. So every CIO out there probably has an issue today with things like the stealth cloud, which is why we have plans for backing up cloud services. And also, just despite our efforts for terminal services, you have people who just save things where they're not centralized. So one of the best ways to truly add another layer of protection is to back up from the user level. So that's where our desk life is. So your laptop fleets, how do you protect those? Most companies don't have any way. It's kind of a the user is responsible. You never want to put the user responsible for anything because the user is the biggest point of exposure to losses. Following down the left, going counterclockwise, we have mobile life. In the same aspect, we have a user level strategy of backup to protect information from your mobile devices. So especially with the growing trend in bring your own mobile to work as far as what you're going to utilize, how do you give people abilities to protect information from there? So we have an Android application, an iOS application that allows you to back up and recover information. We also have mobile portals in general for any mobile browser that will allow you to recover and share information from your backup set. So you're on the go, now you have a proactive use of your backup through file share.
Great. We have a couple of questions. Dwayne asks, can different entities within an organization be billed under one account, i.e. police department, courts, and city hall? I'm curious to know if you're an existing customer, Dwayne. It sounds like something that an existing customer might be curious to know. And I know that can be worked out within the web package. Derek, do you have a workout for that?
If you could be more detailed, that'd be great. Okay. We bill as far as being a partner, we bill you for a subscribed amount of backup space, and you bill your customers however you like.
Thanks, Derek.
SOS ServerSave features and benefits. So what do you get when you come into our program? Well, we already went over the Exchange backup and granular recovery functionality, so that comes with every ServerSave license, as well as the ability to do bare metal image backup with bare metal image creator. So image creator is a volume-based system, so you select the system volume, create an image of it, and you set it on a schedule to do recurring incremental backups, consolidated backups of those incrementals, whatever works out for your environment. Then we have the Online Backup and Recovery Manager. So Online Backup and Recovery, this is our bread and butter. This is the program that you're going to use to take files, compress, encrypt, send them off-site, and then also recover or share them from the web portal if they're of a decent size, or you can just recover them fully through the client software. So ServerSave really describes a suite of applications that we have with EGR, Image Creator, and Online Backup and Recovery, and we have great articles that go into how to use these together in a single location, as well as covered in our Tech and Admin training. The Workstation Backup is the same application as the Online Backup and Recovery Manager. We keep it separately listed here just as a please back up your workstations. The user level strategy and backup is very underrated in the market today, and it's a great way for you to show the thoroughness of your services over what people are used to seeing, as well as just a good way to protect yourself and to protect your customers. Again, that aligning your goals. The web integration package, again, this is a suite of tools that allows you to launch into the market quickly, given that you don't have any of them. A lot of our partners already have some of the tools in place as far as support ticketing systems or mailers, so they may not use that. But this is our way of giving you the ability to get to market quickly if you don't have those tools. So how you use it, it's up to you, but it's a really terrific package, and we'll go through that. And then the mobile backups, we have generic iOS application available from the App Store, as well as a generic Android app, which will be released in the next 2 weeks here. And these will allow your customers to use those applications to back up and recover data from their mobile devices.
And we do have a couple mobile device questions, particularly about Windows phones and BlackBerry. We do not have BlackBerry backup, and I do not believe it's on the roadmap. Windows Mobile, also not on the roadmap that I know of, but that doesn't mean that it won't be put on there.
Yeah, with Windows, we're probably going to move more towards an HTML5 application that will give you similar functionality. That way it'll also bounce between other mobile browsers a lot more easily. But we don't currently have planned, but it's in discussion of having some sort of support for the Windows Phone environment.
Great. Bruce has a great question. Many potential customers ask me if this online service can also be used for file sharing, e.g. back to the office and restore at home, or share files with colleagues. Is this possible, or will this be added in the future? It's presently available, Bruce. It's just a matter of using this service on the web through the My Account portal rather than with the software.
Right. The limitation in file sharing is that the files have to be less than 500 megs, and then you're good to share with whatever you like. You get a secure link that other people can download the software from, and that's how it works out. You also have the ability as the sharer to disable those links if possible, or if you like.
Great. And with that, we'll go ahead and move on to some competitive information. If you guys do have any competitive questions, please feel free to ask away. I, of course, do not profess to know everything, but I will try to answer your competitive question. So, namely, let's talk about SOS ServerSave. How does it compete against the basic Carbonite and Mozy products? I realize that Carbonite recently came out with a reseller program, which is a pretty interesting program and also interesting in what it does and does not offer. Primarily, it doesn't offer bare metal backup to the cloud, so that's really important to remember. It also offers a partner dashboard similar to ours, but we do offer a number of additional features. This is shown on the diagram here is just the basic Carbonite program. So it does not offer transactionally consistent bare metal backup or any kind of bare metal backup and recovery at all. does not offer exchange backup and granular recovery, any kind of central management. It has a lot of limitations within unlimited file versioning as well as mobile access. So does Mozy, and SOS for Business differentiates itself from SOS ServerSave in that it just doesn't have server backup. So those are the primary differences in our products and also these other products that you and your customers have probably heard of. So if SOS ServerSave isn't really like those products, what is it like? It's more like Zenith, Intronus, eVault, others we mentioned previously, Doyen, Zasigra, but it really shines in flexibility in licensing as well as transactionally consistent bare metal backup. How many of you know what transactionally consistent backup is, or what the difference is between transactionally consistent and crash consistent backup? Because it really is quite important, especially if you have customers that have databases that are really transaction-based databases like SQL or SharePoint databases. What it means is that when you have two databases that need to be both backed up and they end up talking to each other sometimes, that they are stopped, or the backup software ensures that they are stopped before it takes images of those servers. That way, the backup ensures that the backup is complete and not that it may be missing information that's in transit at that time. So companies like banks, finance companies, I know I mentioned them before, but those would find this very, very important, or any customer that has a lot of retail transactions would find it very important.
All right. It's really just a question of, can you back a database up and it's open, and that's the transaction consistent backup? Yes. So that's what you're asking for. We go through VSS. That's what allows us to do that. And it really, it separates, the jinky plugins from the actual backup tools that are meant to get the job done. So you don't want a backup that's going to potentially lose you data. It kind of defeats the purpose.
We've got a couple questions about price. Not to worry, we will get there in a couple of slides. David has a question. We work with UK firms who often have offices in China. We often fall foul of the Chinese government blocking IPs. Are you aware of your service being used from within China for international companies? Nothing that I know of off the top of my head, David, but I would love for you to give us and your partner specialists the opportunity to research that. And Dwayne has a question. Would cloud services like Adobe CS6 or MS Office be able to be backed up through SOS since they're backed up or saved online to begin with? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We have no file requirements or file exclusions. Clayton asks, will we get a recording of this later? My internet is being a bit buggy. Yes, you will. Do not worry. You absolutely will. So there have been some questions about data centers and infrastructure. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Our North American data centers are located in Toronto, Los Angeles, Houston, and Dallas. We also have other international data centers, and we will be launching one in South Africa very soon. All these data centers are secured with 24/7 watch, video surveillance, biometric credential requirements, backup generators, temperature and humidity controls. So not only is your data safe, but it is really safe. It is what we say military grade safe. The U.S. government often uses data centers with these requirements and security measures to back up their data as well. So it's definitely, definitely safe. So what about starting your own online backup business? It sounds like a number of you guys on the line have actually already joined up with us, so that's awesome. And hopefully you can speak to this experience. So step one in deciding if you're going to start your online backup business and whether or not it's going to be successful is to analyze your customer base. And if you don't have a customer base, analyze who you really want to go after and who you think you'd be good at serving. Ask yourself, are my customers businesses or residential users? Do they know what backup is? What do they need to back up? So are they laptops, are they workstations, are they servers, and if so, what kind of servers? What other services do you provide them? So you may already be selling them hardware, you may already be selling them things on a one-off basis, but might they also be interested in buying something from you on a recurring monthly basis? They very well might. Step two is to do an ROI analysis with an SOS partner specialist. So some of you may have been through this process already. This helps you develop a revenue model. So our partner specialist will take your customer information as well as the price that you want to sell online backup at and do a revenue model with you. You'll be able to see how recurring revenue can affect your business over time. and consider pricing options for your new online backup product. And then step 3, after you become a partner, is to work with SOS Business Development on how to pitch online backup. So if you aren't sure how to go into certain types of businesses, Mike's reading will help you with that. He is a sales guy. He is very good at creating pitches as well as strategic sales plans. I'll pause here for a question from Richard. Could you use the backup as a basic image to build several computers to be the same? That's a really interesting question. I haven't heard that before. That is, have the base image with the programs you want, i.e. MS Office, Shelby, etc., and use that image on several workstations.
Sure. You take an image of, say you create a new machine and you have a good organized partition set up where the C drive is just your system and your program files. Take an image of that and then you can recover that to dissimilar hardware. No problem.
Okay.
Similar or dissimilar, rather.
Cool. Thanks, Derek. So there have been a lot of questions about pricing. So let's talk about that. These plans are flexible. So they start with SOS ServerSave 5, and what that means is you would get 5 server licenses. We don't care what kinds of servers you use them on. They could be all 5 Exchange servers, 2 of them could be SQL servers, 3 of them could be Exchange servers. Doesn't matter to us. They're yours. You buy them wholesale from us and use them however you want. You will get 1 terabyte of cloud space. Again, that can be provisioned however you like. It can be attached to the servers. It can be used to back up laptops and workstations. Doesn't matter to us. We suggest that you retail each server license with approximately 200 gigabytes of space for $129 a month. If you sold this entire package at that rate, that would mean that your monthly margin per package would be $246. Of course, this goes up significantly if you are into SOS ServerSave 25, which includes 25 server licenses and 4 terabytes of cloud space.
And then just to touch on this again, with the managed service package, it's about defining standards. Just having your standard package, your platinum package, gold package, whatever it is, it makes people feel comfortable with it, like you've been there before. Think about every other service you ever go for in your life. You go to order food at a fast food restaurant, you order a number 1, number 2, number 3. You're not putting together your own burger and everything. Once, of course, you go to like the Habit, which is something out here. But the way that this game is played is that you don't let people upgrade between 150 and 160 gig account. You have basic packages. Your SMB package is 200 gigs with 1 server license. Maybe you have your home office package where it's 200 gigs and no server license if they don't have a need for it. And we've just divided it evenly so it's an easier discussion, but you can see how this really works out. And again, this is part, again, as Sheilin mentioned, our training sessions of how to really package this and make the buying decision simple and also the providing of this service simple as well. The simplicity on both sides is a part of working smart, not hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Very well said. Are there any questions about pricing? I want to make sure that this is pretty clear, and your partner specialist can, of course, help you understand this and go through your options as well. Let us know if you don't know who your partner specialist is. Just type "don't know" into the questions area, and we'll make sure that you get in touch with somebody. So it looks like maybe everybody knows who their partner specialist is. That's cool. Awesome. Now's a great time to move into the demo. So Derek will take you through SOS ServerSave and the website integration package. So those of you who got questions about whether or not it's WYSIWYG and how to use the website integration package, you're going to see that now.
Okay, so first thing is just open up our website. So the SOS Online Backup website is, of course, important to be familiar with. If you are a partner, you put up various tests, like the speed test winner application down here, more information about that. You can take this information and use it in your discussions with your customers or whatever it is on your website. Go to the support section, a whole other level of access. So we have a partner support line. Again, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific. You're going to get home-based support out of our partner support team here in Los Angeles. We have live chat 24 hours a day, Monday through Friday. And then submitting a ticket is always a great way to go about it. Enter more information, and then you get the trackable items. Also, we use Zendesk, so if you submit a ticket, use the same email address for all your staff. That way you can log in and you can participate in the forums. You can also look at historical tickets, see the current update of your ticket, and go through that information. Here's our support site. So we have the knowledge base. We have it built into some forums. This is just recently launched. The forums are newly being added to, so feel free to participate in there. FAQ, SOS for Windows, ServerSave, the partner program itself. So we have a lot of articles in here. We update this based on our communication with you. So if we have somebody call in or submit a ticket to us, we search for exactly what you're asking, and if something doesn't come up, we make sure it will next time. This is constantly being changed and modified to better serve you. Let's go to the dashboard. So as a partner, you have access to this dashboard, and this is a new dashboard that we just started building as we rebuilt our entire code base. The whole backup engine was rebuilt just this last spring. So that's a terrific move in the right direction, and that speed test was done before that rebuild. And after the rebuild, we saw about a 40% increase in speed of backup and recovery. So that's significant. And one, we need to redo that test, and two, we're even better than we already were. So this dashboard is going under changes on a very high frequency. About every week, we're adding new features and functionality to this. So we update our partners with this updates and news feed, which you can subscribe to via RSS or email updates, and we recommend that, so you can see how frequently we do update this dashboard. Through here, we have central monitoring, so you can see what you need to be paying attention to. Next week, actually, we're going to have reporting, so you can have historical reports based on accounts, account activity, account usage, and then following, we're going to have central control. So here we have central management. You can filter this based on an error, okay, or warning. For the most part, you want to see what's errored. We have a lot of red items right now because we do use this for trials. So for trial, these accounts expire, and they come in as the last backup was complete, but no backup was run during the last week. And we can see the details of the last backup here. If we wanted to remove that, like say that is a trial that expired, we would say, okay, remove all records from this account, and it goes away. Also, we can send daily email reports to an address that we put in here. So this daily report is going to give you a summary, which is basically this line, and then underneath this line, it's going to give you this detail. Every morning, so 6 a.m. Central Time, this report gets emailed out to you. Usually a D list is the best thing to do for this. It hits all your texts. And you can just kind of scroll over and see what you want to pay attention to. For the most part, you'd say, okay, let's see all the errors. So let's just see what's wrong, and we'll go fix it. Or we can say, okay, I just want to see what's currently running. Let's see if we have any currently running. None are currently running. See completed. We can look at information based on a specific user account name or a specific machine name if we wanted to get that specific. You can also filter or arrange each column by just clicking the column header. A real nice, easy system here. Then we have online backup recovery, which is a launch into our web integration package. So if we launch this in a new tab, we're going to come into the back section of our web integration package. I'll open the site. You see a web integration package. This is exactly what you'll be delivered. So partnername.onlinebackupcheckout.com. This is exactly what you'll get, and you'll have the ability to edit the content, edit the CSS to make it your own. So we have all these, this is all the default content that gets delivered, and then you have the ability to come in and edit these things, especially things like Facebook and Twitter. And then if you go to the sign-up page, you can modify the available sign-up options. And of course, probably the biggest priority is you need to put in your own terms and conditions. But back to the different tools that we integrate into this single package. We have first the admin settings, so things like the admin email address, what's going to receive and send emails from the system. signature when the emails are sent, a copyright notice in the footer of the website, your global site metadata, so keywords, title, description. Again, that's probably the 101 SEO webinar we'll do. Also the Google Analytics plugin, so you can just paste in your GA code here. And then the client download URL. What do you, out of the suite of services we give you, what do you want the default download to be for your customers? By default, we make it the Online Backup Recovery Manager. You can change that to whatever you like using this tool right here. Next is gateways. You can come in and plug in your credentials for PayPal Pro, Authorize.net, whatever merchant system you're using. So you get your API username and password, you enter that information here, hit submit, and then you're ready to start accepting money through this website. Going through the website, once you have your merchant system plugged in, you're going to want to set the pricing. So first, you go to currency, and you select the currency you'd like to use. Then you go to view plans. View plans lets you edit. So in this system, the magnifying glass is view, pencil is edit. Lets us edit the title of the plan. So if we wanted to change this to 100 gigabyte, SMB plan monthly, SMB server plan monthly, and we can make this active. Hit submit. If I go back to the sign up page and refresh, now we have 100 gigabyte SMB server plan monthly for $120 a month. So that's all you got to do. It's that simple to customize. Through here, we also have, okay, well, what about the website? So by default, it comes like this. What if I want to put my logo up here? If you come to the CSS editor, and you can upload different images. You can just browse for this logo here is what is going to go up in this section. So you can browse for a new logo. And then you have the CSS access right here. So those of you who have expertise near or internal resources, you can go through and really be as creative as you like within this. For the visual editor question we have content and then view pages. Here we have all the pages, and originally this package didn't even come with customer-facing web pages. It just came with the merchant integration to the sign-up page. And we now have 10 pages that we allow people to work with. And you can create your own pages as you go on too. We just created more default pages. So you have view, again, you have your page-specific SEO data here, so keywords, title, description. And then the main position below, hit edit. And here's your visual editors. If we go back to the main site, here it is live, here it is in the editor. For those of you who need a little more advanced options, we can go to view source, and this is a good way to also protect yourself. If you are not sure what you're doing here, it's always good to come in here, select all the source code, copy it into a notepad file, and save it, and then maybe back it up with our service. Then if you start messing around in here and you need to get back to default, you can do that. Unlike the CSS, there is no restore default setting for the content management system. We have the mailer. You can come and plug in your mailer statistics, and then you get our mailer setup, and then you get mailer statistics here, so you can see how many emails were actually sent out from the system. So open rate, click-through rate, unsubscribed. You can run this report based on a date range, on a specific campaign or a subscriber group. Subscriber groups are easy to set up. It'll be subscribers. It'll show you which subscribers you have, and then you could always import subscribers based on a CSV file. The first column name, second column email address. Coupon codes, simple to set up. Set up a coupon code. So when you go to sign up here on your website, let's go to the sign up page. I select a plan that costs money, and once you fill all this information, then you would enter in the coupon code, so demo, and then it tells you how much you saved. So a lot of people have a standard 10 or 15% coupon code that they can hand to everyone, and then you can have more campaign-specific coupon codes with bigger discounts, whether it's percentage or a fixed dollar amount off. coupon codes cannot be for 100% off. So it's got to be, we got to charge something if you run it through the system, and it's not a trial. And the support system, simple support system, you have different categories, statuses, and you can add and edit these as you see fit. And this just gives you a basic way to add some support tickets. And then of course the backup users, your backup user list, and they can view actions, and you can view the details of the account. You can upgrade or cancel the account or reset the password for the account or change the email on the account here. Any questions on the web integration package? All right, great. I'm going to move right into going through the software. One question is how featured is the Mac client? Kind of a, I guess in comparison to our PC client, we have just released its first version out of beta for our partners, where the PC client has been available for our partners for 5 versions. So I guess you can take it from there. The backup agent lets you schedule backups, run backups, select files, recover files. So it's a fully functioning online backup and recovery program. Some of the items like support for large server environments, we haven't really tested it for that. So it is designed currently for Mac workstations or laptops, but it's brand new. So Clayton asks, how would you give yourself a free account? Well, you'd go to the backup user section and just hit create account, and then you can create accounts without including billing information. See right here, create account. And then you fill out your information, and then notice there's no billing information being recorded below. And that's it. Okay. So I'm going to try to get through this demo real quickly, and then we'll take questions at the end since we're running out of time. Everyone's seeing the demo machine now. I have the ServerSave application launched, and I'm currently running it on, I got a VM set up with Server 2008 running R2. This does not currently work on Apache or Linux servers, so all of our software runs on Windows machines except for our Mac online backup and recovery application. All right, so demo. So here we have ServerSave, and again, it describes a suite of applications that we use to protect you and your environment to give you a full solution. It's not just online backup, not just local image backup, but all of the above. Local image backup, local off-site backup, local file and folder backup, and off-site file and folder. And that's what a true solution is. It's not just one or the other. So starting with bare metal image creator. We open this up, we get our wizard. Our disk map, Windows Volume Manager. Current backup jobs, I'm going to go ahead and delete this backup job so I can show you how to create one. You can have multiple backup jobs, but if you have this, depending on the schedule, you can't overschedule, so it has protection there. Destination Wizard Manager. And then the backup history. Going through the wizard, we have first backup. So again, it's a volume-based system, so we come in and we select a volume. So I'm going to select our humble Exchange volume here, so 5 gigabytes. Hit next. Now it's going to ask me, where do you want to back this up to? Well, we would typically browse for a network location. So somewhere on your network you should have a staging machine or backup machine. It doesn't have to be a server OS, just Windows 7, run something, and this is just giving you a local backup. From that location, we then take it off-site. So we set it up here. For this purpose, I'm just going to run it to a virtual drive F, which you can do as well. So it's just another piece of storage. Hit next. Now you're going to schedule the backup. Traditionally, you would do a weekly backup, wherein on a weekly basis, you run a full backup. And then you have retention policies to get rid of these older backup systems. And that's fine for some of the more historical items, but we're talking about going off-site. We're dealing with different limitations as far as access to backup and recover. And also, we have a more intelligent recovery chain, so it's not more or less robust to recover if you have 1,000 incrementals versus 1 incremental. So we do this continuous incremental as our best practice. Continuous incremental means the first backup is going to be full, then you run incremental backups from that point forward until you decide you want to consolidate using Image Manager, or until you want to run a full backup using this wizard again. Then you would schedule those files to go off-site. Yeah, we do use VSS, so VSS is Volume Shadow Service. This is how we do the transaction-consistent backup. As many of you are familiar with VSS, it doesn't like being shared, so big, bold, you can't have other VSS-enabled applications running on the same machine, so VSS doesn't like being shared. It's a rather monogamous program. That's it. Hit next. Select your compression method. Again, this is for the local backup. You higher standards. Also, for those of you dealing with healthcare records, you need to put a encryption on the local backup. So you select that here, and then you can select the level of encryption. You go into advanced. And for the US, you need to select AES 128-bit. While we're in the advanced tab, we can also see, well, let's say if we're running a backup and we have a database that does not have a VSS writer, it's not VSS enabled. So whether or not we're using VSS to back up, it doesn't matter because the database is supported. Well, you can script in different commands to run pre-snapshot, backup snapshot, to stop the backup from running. So that's, again, VSS allows an open file backup for those databases that are a little older or don't have a VSS writer enabled, which is rather rare. You can do that. Usually you run into this with old accounting programs, like Mass90 programs. Image, self-healing is automatically enabled. We have an option to split the file, and if you're going off-site, we recommend using this feature. So that, splitting the file into 5 gigs or 10 gig increments is really what we recommend for speed. So it's best performance to split it up into smaller chunks. And again, having more or less files doesn't really do anything when you go to recover. It's an intelligent recovery chain. Hit next, hit summary, hit finish, then it's going to go ahead and run a backup as it's scheduled. So now that we have the backup running to a certain location, let's schedule the online backup. So we'll open up online backup and recovery. Going to pull it into the wizard. We're going to set up online backup. Then we have a scanner here. So for workstation, this is quite helpful. So we say scan all folders, scan just my personal folders. You can edit and you can customize which folders it is scanning or that it's not scanning. You can exclude or include folders and or files based on size and or location. I'm just going to select do not scan, hit next. Then I get the Windows tree view. Regardless of what you select, you're going to get the Windows tree view. The Windows tree view is what's familiar to most of us. And a checkbox on a directory means everything in this directory, or this entire directory, is selected for backup, meaning if I add new files to this directory, they'll be backed up upon the next scheduled backup. If I have a square, that means files or folders within this directory are selected for backup, but just because a new file or folder is added to this directory doesn't mean it will be protected. Questions on that? You can drill down into the specifics of what's going on here. Say next. Then you have a schedule. So back at the end of the wizard, very self-explanatory. Backup automatically without user intervention. This is going to set up a Windows scheduled task to run the backup. Backup even when Windows user is not logged on. In a Windows domain environment, you'll need me to go through this. So you'd have to go through Windows domain credentials. If you're in a Windows domain and you're running backups, you'll just get a bunch of error reports if you don't put the Windows credentials in, giving an authentication when the user is logged out. And so we don't have permission to access these files. So our system is based on what Windows has set up for permissions. So if the user has read-write permissions, then the backup software will have read-write permissions. It will be able to protect information. We don't build in limitations like a lot of companies do where you can't select external drives or network drives or map drives just because by nature of being a map, network, or external drive. If it's your data, go protect it. It's all based on the user's permissions. Frequency, for the workstation, you can do it every couple of hours. Laptops, workstations, very fast backups, typically a smaller backup set. For your servers, you're going to do it more traditionally on a daily cycle, and that depends on how you're doing consolidation, all that. Email reports, you can enter multiple email addresses in here to receive the email report. The email report does not get sent automatically to the email address assigned to the account. That's where account level changes are sent, not backup events. So you separate with a comma, and then you get a report of what happened. You hit finish, and then it's scheduled to run. So we have our backups scheduled, and they're running. Now we need to restore information. So we go to restore. We go to online restore. Good questions coming in. We're going to get to them in just a minute. So I want to finish up this quick demo. We get a bold check mark next to each day where we have a backup that is run. I can go back in time. I can select, okay, February 9th, show me my backups at that point, this number of machines. If I go back and say, okay, let's go back and see what we have today, hit next, then it's going to show me a whole other list of machines that we've added. So you really see how powerful that versioning system is and the retention. Again, we don't purge information after a certain amount of time. We keep it indefinitely or until you delete it. I guess we have my Mac Mini here as well, so that's nice. So Lasso demo is what we're on right now, and then the F drive is where I've been backing up my images. We can sort by name. So we have backup job 12 and all the incrementals. I actually like to restore through the classic view, so I'm going to go back and open up the classic view. I like the classic view because I can expand it. I can see more information. Let's go to my F drive. Filter based on name, and I can say, okay, backup job 14. I just want all backup job 14 information, so I just select all these files, right-click and hit recover, or I can hit the recover button up here. The classic view doesn't refresh on its own, so when you come in here, you want to refresh it. But okay, we recovered that information back to our drive. Now what do we do with all these images? Well, we can open up Windows Explorer, go to our backup destination, and hit quick map. And there we go. So we just quick mounted that volume as Exchange P. So we just mounted it in about a minute with all the Exchange data that was a part of that particular image backup. And it automatically searched through the incremental file chain to recover first the full and then each sequential incremental. If we go through the wizard, we get a little more detail. I'm sorry. Explore backup, select the backup job, hit next. This is going to give us information. Say, okay, well, this is the information we have about this backup job. We found that there are 55 incrementals for it, so I say, okay, that sounds great. Hit next. Assign it to drive letter Q. Sure. Hit next. Here's the intelligent file chain recovery it's going to run. Hit finish, and it's going to go through and mount it as drive Q. Quick question, is there any way to do this and make it only run after hours? Scheduled to run after hours only. Yeah, you schedule the backup to run after your business day ends. So 5 p.m., 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., whatever it is. And then you could also put an additional setting in a task scheduler to make it stop after 10 hours, 8 hours, whatever amount of time you like. So here's the Exchange information. So now that we've recovered the Exchange information, let's look at the Exchange granular recovery tool. So we open this up, and this is also based on the Windows user we're logged in as. So if we go to Access, which we will, a Exchange volume, it's going to first ask for authentication that this is an admin on an Exchange server. So this is just going to populate what we have in this, according to this backup file. Here's the information here. You can export to a PST or to an open target Exchange server, which is more common. So you select the domain controller, the server name, hit OK. It's going to authenticate the Windows user I'm logged in as on this Exchange server. Great, so it populates down here. So common use case, user 1 comes in and says, admin, I need a attachment immediately. Has something to do with management. So we search in his folder, in the backup that we have for management, and we hit Find Now, and then we have file list populate. We double click and preview the file. See, okay, here's the attachment, management guide, is that it? And he says, yes, it is. So we open up the live Exchange store, drag and drop this into his inbox, and it's recovered. Let's say we wanted to search across the live Exchange store to see who has actually seen this attachment. Say maybe we need to remove all the, like the attachment was set in error and it shouldn't have been selected. So we look at the target, hit OK. Look up management. Sorry for the fat fingers. Hit Find Now, and we get all these messages, and then it's going to search through and continue to find all the messages that is on the live server. And now that it's done, I can select all these and then delete all these messages. So if that was, set in error, now we can remove it from the live server. So very powerful tool. I can drag and drop a mailbox from one server to the other. I can also take the whole EDB file and drag it to this hardware. Hit OK. It's going to ask me, do you want mailboxes to be created for mailboxes that do not exist currently? I'd say yes, and that's it. And that's the demo. So very powerful tool, and you can see a complete system. Local backup, online backup for both image-based backup and file and folder level backups. All right, questions? Can you show the software you would use on a roaming laptop, e.g. for a sales rep? Yeah, that's the Online Backup and Recovery Manager. So you would install that application directly onto the machine, which is this one. And we have MSIs available where you can set specific parameters. So if you wanted to deploy this across that, you could do that. Robert, a long-term partner of ours. Nice to see you again, Robert, coming in a new program. We can, if you call in this number on our screen, 310-878-2646, or the toll-free 877-896-3611, extension 1. You can give them your name and your business name, and whoever answers will be able to point you in direction your partner specialist. And we can also reach out to you as well. So good to see you, Robert. Will the backup automatically restart in the event of a power outage during a backup? So a power outage shuts off the machine? No, it's going to kick off the next scheduled backup. Now, if the machine stays on, but just the net goes out, which is more likely, right? Or for a laptop anyways, the net cuts out, it'll stop and it'll kick up when the network comes back online. Another question, the follow-up of scheduling the backup to run after hours. Again, it's set up as a Windows task scheduler object. So you open up the task scheduler, the library here. Then you have the backups here. So you can open this up, and you can set different triggers or parameters. So here's a setting, stop the task if it runs longer than 12 hours. This is typically something that you'd want to do for file servers, especially in the initial backup. The initial backup is really the only time that you need to spend time managing it. It's going to be, heavy lifting. The cloud services, especially cloud backup, are front heavy. So it might also be a good idea to charge an implementation plan for new customers. So if you have managed service costs, I like a policy that a lot of people do, which is very common in services, which is a kind of a first month rent, last month rent payment to get started, and then you move forward from there. It depends on your customers, really. All right, any questions about the program, about the resources available to you after delivery, who to contact? Good question again from Robert. When will this presentation be available? Well, if you go back to SOSonlinebackup.com, we have under SOS for Resellers, the partner program. Then you go to webinars and click here to view recent recorded webinars and demos, and we put all the recordings up here. So we have ours from last week and the weeks prior. And then you can register for them as well. And if you come back down to the bottom of the site, if you can't find where to navigate to it, under Online Backup Services, you have live webinars right here, and this will take you to this page as well. If you want to register for another live webinar, you can click here to attend. All right, I think that'll pretty much sum it up for us today. So thank you all for attending. Great participation. We look forward to having you on board. And again, contact your partner specialist. They're going to run through a very specific ROI with you to make sure that, one, you're a good fit for the program. You know, we're not here to misplace anyone. And also, being that you are a good fit, what level of the program will be most appropriate for you. So thanks, and look forward to seeing you.